Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to a new edition of our Marketing Backstage. So I'm Larissa Mendes. I'm going to be your host today. I'm a SEO and content analyst here at Hawk Content. And for those who don't know, Marketing Backstage is something that we do here at Hawk. It's a webinar that we do just to share a little bit about our experience, how we do things here, and to share a little bit what work, what doesn't work, our daily, our way of doing things on a daily basis. And I really like this space to just share our experience as marketers with other marketers. And today we're going to talk about how to thrive in SEO by mapping your content accurately. So this is just to present a little bit about myself before that. So I just said that I'm Larissa Mendes. I'm a content SEO specialist here at Hawk Content. And I've been working with content marketing since 2017, but I also use it to be a French teacher and I live in France. So I have this background in language and French literature. And that's why I love this connection between digital marketing and education, exchanging experience, resources, and points of view is something that I love very much. That's why I love the backstage opportunity. And I love cats, dogs, tattoos, and traveling. And that's a cat out there. So what's our webinar agenda for today? I'm going to start talking a little bit about what's content mapping and why it's so important. I'm going to pass briefly by that just to put everyone at the same page. After that, I'm going to talk about content mapping and content calendar. What's the difference? Because sometimes we think that's the same thing and they are not. And the most important part, the essential elements of effective content mapping. So I'm going to give you all the elements that we use here at Hawk Content and how we do it. So let's go. There is a GIF there and it's not working here, but you can download this presentation at the end. And in the presentation, it's working, I promise. So what's content mapping and why it's so important? So content mapping is a tool that we are going to use to help us in the content production. So it's going to take into account factors such as funnel stage and keywords. So content mapping for SEO, that's important because there's content mapping for social media. And here we are talking about SEO. So it's a strategic approach that's going to ensure that the content that you're going to create, that's going to take your time and resources, they align both with your business goals, such as increasing brand awareness, driving traffic, or generating leads, and the needs of your audience. So the idea here is that you are not going to create content for the sake of creating. There's something organized behind. And what's the difference between content mapping and content calendar? So content mapping, as I just said, is something that is bigger and is more complex. There's more information there. And it's going to have this focus on aligning content with the buyer's journey and search intents. So it's going to ensure that each piece of content that you're going to produce is going to address a specific audience need or and your business goals. So it's about planning to create a content based on user intent and SEO principles. And in contrast, a content calendar is as important as a content mapping, but it's a document that's, I would say, it's clear and it's smaller because the idea here is just to organize uh, in a way that you can see when and where you're going to publish the mapped content. So it's like a second phase of your strategy. And it's a really important document also, not because it's not only for you as a marketer who is responsible for the content mapping, but also for other people in other teams so they can see what's going on in your blog site and they can also work with this information. So for example, in the inbound marketing, they have to know if you already publish a certain article so they can promote it in nutrition flow, for example, in your email marketing, this kind of thing. So they are both really important, but we are talking here about different documents. Okay. So now we talked about this, and it's time to do the content mapping. Not yet. So why not? Here's a really important thing. I told you that we are not going to create content for the sake of creating. And here it's because you have to be strategic before being tactical. What does it mean? Actually, before doing a content mapping, you have to analyze, you have to run a diagnostic about your current situation. Uh, what's the current situation in your site, in your blog? What and who is preventing us from achieving our goals? So your content mapping actually starts there at this stage. After that, you're going to think about a strategy. So what approach should we choose to address or overcome the obstacles identified in this diagnostic phase? And after that, you have the tactical part. So you're going to create a set of actions that will determine how the strategy should be executed. So this is important because you cannot work and put effort in a content mapping without knowing this bigger picture. That's the idea. So everything has to be aligned with what other people are doing and with your business goals and how your business is going. So you must have in mind this idea that we are not talking about something isolated. It's a part of something bigger. Okay? So here is the idea. The foundation of a strategic content mapping is through diagnosis. I'm going to talk about more about this soon, but you have to do a lot of things before doing the content map part. And here we have the essential elements of effective content mapping. What do you need? So you're going to need a persona, keyword, kind of content, funnel stage, CTA, or famous call to action, and content focus, content angle. I'm going to pass by each one of them, but that's like the basic that we use here at Hot Content and that we recommend to you. So what's a persona? We marketers, we know a lot, we work a lot with this concept. So a persona is a semi-fictional profile that's created to represent a significant segment of a company's ideal customer. So it's based on real data and research about potential clients. So it's going to have information related to demographics, behavior, and needs. And we can call it buyer persona, avatar. It doesn't matter how we call it. The most important part here is that the persona guides content creation. And that's really, really important because if you try to talk to everybody at the same time, at the end, you're going to talk with nobody. So it's really important that to specify in the content mapping which persona each piece of content will target. So this will help you construct your briefing after and create your content. Do not try to create a content mapping without a persona because it's really difficult and the results are not good. And a keyword. So a keyword is a term or a phrase that we use in digital content to help there with the search engine optimization. So it's going to help us to define the content topics and align with the terms and phrases that people are going to put in the search engine, such as Google, when they are looking for a specific information, product, or service. And here, there's a really important thing that you shouldn't focus only on high search volume keywords, because you must consider your audience and what's important to your persona. Everything starts with the persona. And I say that because here, for example, at Hot Content, we invest in low volume search keywords because we understand that the topic related to this keyword, this phrase, is important and relevant to our persona. So that's really important to have that in mind, keep that in mind, that you are creating content to your persona. So if she, he, them, they are interested by it, you should probably invest in this content, even if there's a low volume search. And how you can how you can find keywords or phrases to work with. So there are a lot of tools that you can use, and I recommend that you use not a lot of tools, but more than one tool, so you can have a lot of insights to work with. So I'm also going to pass tool by tool, but I we highly recommend Google Analytics, Google Search Console, AI Content Wizard. That's a tool that's available at Right Access. That's our freelancer platform. AI Idea Generator. That's also available at Right Access, and SEMrush Ahrefs. They are really similar. And how we use these tools, what we do, what do you do with them? So let's start with Google Analytics and Google Search Console that probably you already use or you have already heard about. Google Analytics is going to help you understand your current traffic. So it's going to help you understand, identify content that attracts the most visitors, and it's going to help you determine which page, which page and pages engage users to the longest. So this information is going to help you see what's working, what's the current situation in at your site, and where improvements can be made. And Google Search Console is essential for understanding how people find your site through Google search. So it helps, it shows which keywords are being used and which pages are the most clicked. And I love using Google Search Console for this part of the keyword thing, because sometimes it give us some keywords that the do not appear yet at SEMrush or Ahrefs, for example, because it can indicate there's something trending going on. You know, people are starting to get interested by a subject, and this can give you an idea of which kind of content produce, because people are arriving at your site through this keyword, this phrase, but perhaps they are arriving at a content that doesn't exactly answer the question, or it's a content that talks about the subject but like in one topic. So this is an opportunity for you to explore something. So I really like this part. And we also have AI Content Wizard. So like I said, it's a tool that's available at Right Access. And it's really cool because it takes into consideration account competitors, keywords, and audience, and performing a gap analysis to propose themes and ideas that perfect match your audience and business strategy. So it's a more complete tool, I would say. And here, for example, you can see some ideas that it gave to me. Uh, so we have an idea for an article, a briefing, some titles and subtitles, keywords that we can work with, volume, keyword difficulty. So it here, and what's cool is that you have this idea, and the IE Content Wizard is at Right Access, so you can count on our freelancers, our experts that can help you producing this content, and everything at the same platform. So you can try it for free. Someone's going to give you a link there for you to try it for free. And another opportunity, this one is 100% free. It's our AI idea generator. So this one is also really simple. You only have to put your email and your blog, your site, and it's going to give you some ideas to work with. So there's also a brief paragraph talking about what can you talk about, and they give you already some keywords to work with, and the number of words that you can that we indicate for you to work with this content. So that's totally free, and there's also a link there for you to try it. And here we have SEMrush and Ahrefs. So these tools, they are, we can do a lot of things with them, and if you know them. I'm going to talk just about keyword. That's a really small percentage of what we can do. But these tools are going to help you identify keyword gaps. So keywords for which your competitors rank, but you do not. And they also help you understand your position in the SERP at this moment. So, and also how your position related to the crucial keywords to your business. So you can see, for example, you are perhaps in the second position for a certain keyword, and you can perhaps do an update in this content to gain the first position or a feature snippet. Or you are, for example, in the 10th position, and with some improvement, perhaps you can jump positions. Or you are like at 20th position, and it means that your content perhaps is not answering the user's intent the way it is, and it needs improvement. So all of this you can see and analyze through SEMrush and Ahrefs data. And we can also see keyword difficulty. We know there are a lot of keywords that are really difficult to rank. And that's a moment where you are going to ask yourself, do I really need to invest on this keyword right now? Perhaps it's worth it if I try, for example, invest in some a long tail keyword to work with this, and there's less competition and there's less volume search, but perhaps for my business at this moment it's better, it's easier to rank, you know. So of this you can gather this information through these tools. So now it's time you have this information, and what kinds of insights you can get through them. So for example, after seeing all of this, you can see that a blog page has had a drop in traffic or in ranking compared to the previous month or the previous quarter. And that indicates that this page may need updates or improvements to regain its former performance. Or if a page is performing really well and with a high volume of traffic, it might be good to create a complementary content that can be linked to from this page, so everyone gains a little bit of authority. Some insights that you can have. So cool. Now you have a lot of information, have a lot of data, and you probably have a lot of ideas of contents to create. And I would love to create all the content that I want, that I think it's important, but we cannot create all the content that we want because we have a budget, we have time, and we have a lot of problems with this. So what does it mean? It means we need to prioritize. And how do we do that? So Chris Dornelis, she's also an SEO analyst and content analyst here at Hawk Content. And she wrote an article with the SEO basics that I really recommend for you to read. And it was like the destiny because she wrote and published this article on Monday, so it's perfect, the timing. And she should suggests evaluate the relevance, search volume, and competition for each keyword. Focus on keywords that are highly relevant to your content and offer a good balance between search volume and competition. That's a really good way to start if you are feeling lost and you don't know exactly what to do. But something that's really, really important here is that you must interpret your data correctly. What does it mean? A drop, a decline, it's not always a bad thing, because it's going to happen. You're going to see some red red numbers there, but you have to remember the context is everything. You have to analyze. Okay, this content where I lost traffic, it's a really important content for my business, for my persona. Okay, that's a red flag. I need to do something. But if you are seeing a traffic drop or in a keyword that's not really important, or is not as important as other keywords, and is not something really important to your persona, perhaps you do not have to do anything right now. Do not have to move resources and time to update this content. So you have to analyze everything in a context. That's really important. And after that, so you're analyzing everything, you have to decide what type of content you are going to produce. And here we have a whole universe. We have a lot of potential here. At Hot Content, we work with different kinds of content. And here I'm talking about SEO content, but we also have content related to our products, content related, SEO related, thought leadership content, a lot of kinds of content. And here I'm going to talk about three types of content related to SEO. That's the new content, update, and quick wins. So new content, I think it's really easy to understand. We are talking about content for keywords that we do not have yet. So this is going to involve usually a new topic or keywords that your competitor holds for the moment. Another kind of content is an update. So an update is a content that we have identified as needing improvement and has the potential to gain ranking from an update. So, for example, a content that hasn't been updated for more than 6 months ends on the second page of Google. And I see that's a topic that's important to our persona, important for our business. And I see that if I spend some time updating this content, seeing perhaps there's a lack, a gap in some topics that I should be covering and I'm not. Or, for example, I'm talking about a data funnel research that comes from 2019, and we know that a lot has happened since then. And I know this is going to take a little bit of my time, but I see an opportunity there. And we also have a quick win. So a quick win is also a content that require improvements, but I'm not talking specifically about a content update. I'm talking about something that I can do quickly, so I can perhaps gain a position and gain traffic doing this. So I'm talking about SEO title, meta description, a change of meta description, image correction. Sometimes the image is broken. Add a video that we already have in our channel and it matches the theme. So I just put it there. So I'm talking about improvements that I can do under 30-40 minutes. So I can just do an overview and perhaps gain more traffic or positions with this. And finally, we also have the funnel stage and CTA. They are really related, as we know, because here I'm going to put what CTA I'm going to use in this article. And it's important to map this because we have to analyze which CTA is going to correspond with which funnel stage. So examples of CTAs that we know and we use a lot: downloading a material, a software demo, reading another blog article, following on social media, subscribing to the newsletter. So all of this is going to depend on the content and the funnel stage. So here at Hot Content, we encourage, for example, people to subscribe to our The Beat. That's our new interactive newsletter, and we have a CTA specific for that. Or other times it's like a software demo or talk to one of our sailors to talk about our platform, or downloading a material, an ebook, an interactive ebook. So it depends a lot. And finally, we have the content focus. So what is it? It's just topics that you should include because they are essential and your competitors also cover them. So there is where you're probably going to not waste, but you're going to take a lot more of time, because you have to analyze what your competitors are doing, how they are the first positions in the SERP, how they are treating their working with the subject, what teams what topics they are going to cover. But as important as that is to analyze what you can do differently, because you're not going to create the same content that everyone else is also creating. So, for instance, here at Hack Content, we are investing in expert-driven content. So we are conducting some interviews with experts within Hack Content, hackers, as we call ourselves, but also with other people. And we are using this to enrich our content. So by bringing unique perspective, experience, and expertise to our articles. Yes, I'm talking again about EAT, and this help us to create something unique with this content that an AI cannot reproduce, and other people or competitors are not going to reproduce. And I also like to include some reference links to guide myself during the briefing step, because this is the content mapping. After that, you have to create a brief to each content, and your thank yourself layer, because this is going to help you to create this briefing. So I always put research, papers, studies, other blog posts to inspire yourself, just to put it there, so you do not have to start from scratch. So now we have all this information, everything that I've just I talked a lot here. And then how does a real content map look like? It's like that. You're seeing here is a spreadsheet that we use here, where we organize all this information, everything that I just told you, and other things that I didn't told you too, because it's a really complete document. But here, for example, we have our persona, we have our keyword, we have some secondary keywords to work with, the volume search. So you can see here that we worked with a keyword that had 200 of a volume search. And we considered this a content that was important to our persona, so we created the content anyway. And here I put size. Size is really important to us, because we create a lot of things ourselves, but we also count with our freelancers at Rare Access to help us create this content, because we work with a great volume of content. So we need this because we at Writer Access, we pay freelancers per word. So we need to have the size of the content to know how much it's going to cost at the end, budget issues, a little bit of mathematics. Here, we like to put responsible. Who is responsible for this content? And I really like it because, as I told you, I'm not the only one here. We have Chris Ornelas, we have Yasmin Oliveira. So we have a lot of content analysts, and it's good to know who is responsible by what. So in case of, I don't know, anything happens, we know who we should address to. And here I put the content angle. So as you can see, here, for example, for the SEO, this is a new content, the green one. So here I'm going to put why. Why did I think this was a good idea to work with. So here we were at the seventh position with this keyword, and we didn't have specific content about it. So I thought perhaps this is a good opportunity for us. I also put some topics to some questions that would be a good idea to answer during this content, and a link here to help me in the briefing stage. And it's different, as you can see, from a quick win, because here at the quick win, I also put what I'm going to do, but it's just like a why. I'm going to talk about why better soon. But here I put, oh, try to get a better position, because now we are at the fourth, fifth position. So here I put, oh, what can I do? Improve title and meta description, change banner, because we produce a lot of material and we produce banners to promote them, and we can update that. And here I saw an opportunity to put a CTA to our interactive newsletter, the Beat. Grammar check, something that I always do, like just to see if there's not a typo or a grammar mistake there. Um, Update broken image, because sometimes the image just disappears and it's good, so it's not good to an user experience. So I'm going to update that. And after, I'm going to insert a video. For example, something that we have already produced is there online. I just have to put it. So as we can see, something that I'm able to do under 30 minutes, something easier to do. And on the other hand, at the update content here example, I also put why. So why do I think this is a good idea? And I'm going to do almost the same thing. Like I'm going to do a grammar check. I'm going to change banner, this kind of thing I'm going to do. But I've seen an opportunity to improve the content itself. So here I'm going to add, I'm talking about, it's a content about prompts. So using artificial intelligence. So I'm going to think about other prompts that we can use. Some examples, like prompts for email marketing, prompts for copy of social media, for example. And add other topics, such as what's prompt, why use prompts, types of prompts, that I've gathered this information when I was analyzing my competitors. So when I see this is going to take a lot of my time. So it's not a quick win, it's an update. So this is the idea. Here I like to put the briefing. So the briefing is another step and another document, but I like to put it here. So again, you're not creating this only to yourself. You have to think as a team, so other people can see and find themselves there. So I like to put it there, like the status, what's happening here. And when you publish this, the date. So that's the basic. That's what a real content map looks like when you have organized everything that I've just showed you. So, wrapping up, the essential elements of effective content mapping: persona, keyword, kind of content, funnel stage, CTA, content focus, content angle. And here are some important things to keep in mind. Content mapping is not a tattoo. It doesn't have to be permanent. So I highly recommend that you organize and plan your content map as carefully as you choose, like a tattoo artist. But you can and you should change if necessary. So it's something that you're going to use to organize your life, organize everything. But if you also have to be flexible, So for example, at Hot Content, we create our content map monthly. But for example, on March, we thought about something, and content update, car update, Google car update. So this is a subject that's really important to us, is important to our personas, and we just adapt it to create content to talk about it. And because you wanted to create something not only to inform people that the thing has happened, but also to put some insights and what our thoughts, what do we hope our experience. So it takes time. So we changed everything, and that's fine. Not everything, but we changed a lot of things, and that's fine, you know. And another thing that's really, really important is that content mapping is a ongoing process. So everything, all the steps that I've outlined today are more about organizing the information that you should be continuously collecting throughout the month or quarter. So I said a lot month because it's something that we do here, but it depends on the frequency that you and your business that you have. Perhaps if you are starting right now, perhaps a quarter is a better idea. So it depends a lot. But the idea here is not like you're going, oh, today I'm going to do my content mapping, and you start everything from scratch. Actually, you must constantly monitor this. So here we are constantly monitoring our traffic, our lead generation, clicks on Search Console, position on the SERP, keywords, getting data and insights. You know, you are always monitoring this. And we also follow numerous resources in the United States, but also in Brazil, France, Spain, because we want to know what other countries and other languages are doing, you know. And all of this provides a lot of ideas for to work with. And that's why it's really important to have a place to record your ideas. So it's something you're going to have a lot of information, and you're going to think that you have a lot of good ideas. So put all of that in another place that's not the content mapping. So I use a spreadsheet. We use a channel at Slack. You can use even a notebook if that fits you better. But the idea is to have a place where you can put ideas. And not only put an idea, but also why. Remember when I told you guys to think about yourself in the future. Always think about yourself in the future, because you put an idea there, and for example, now, and I'm going to do my content mapping in July, and I thought, oh, this is really cool, but why? Why I thought this was really cool at the time? So, why do you think it's a good idea to write a new content about a subject with a keyword? Update the content, do a quick win in this content. So, this is going to help you in the when you are analyzing all the data and selecting and thinking about what to prioritize. So, think about your future self and provide a justification. So, what kind of justification? Just a phrase, you know, like a drop in SERP position, less traffic, content that previously generated our marketing qualified lead or a sales qualified lead, but hasn't been updated. Or our engaging content that's important to our persona, but the data is from 2017. That's going to help you to understand your thought, and you can analyze better if it still makes sense, because perhaps when you're going to the day you're going to sit and organize all that, you came to the realization that, okay, that's perhaps is a good idea, but not right now, because right now I have to prioritize other contents. So all of this is going to help you. So yes, you have to be really organized to working in the content mapping, but it's going just to help you, you know. And so, a recap of what we learned. So, effective content mapping requires a deep understanding of personas. So, that's going to ensure that the content that you're going to create, and we know, and I repeat, content takes time, takes money. So, we want to make sure that that's the best content um, best content possible, and that it talks with the interests, needs, and behaviors of our target audience. So no persona, no content. Really, do not waste your time creating content mapping if you do not have a persona, if you do not know who with whom you're going to talk to. And content mapping can be adjusted as needed. It's not set in stone. It's a live document. So it's something that you can change and you must change if something happens. And decisions regarding new or updated content are always justified with clear reasons. And you have to be able to justify your actions, not only to yourself, but for your superiors. Why do you think this is a good idea? Why we should invest money in updating this content? Why we should waste time updating this content? What do you expect with that? So sometimes we are really attached to a certain piece of content, but and we cannot find a good reason. So probably we should just put this on a standby for the moment and prioritize other contents, you know? And that's it. Thank you. We have reached the end of our webinar. So this presentation and also the webinar is going to be available at the link. So we are free to watch it again anytime. And feel free to contact me. Add me on LinkedIn and through email. I really love to chat. I love to exchange ideas, exchange resources, and in other languages because I love languages too. So feel free to contact me and talk about SEO and content mapping. That's something that passionates me. And here, just to finish, because we have a gift for you, of course. So we talked about how to do the content mapping, some ideas, some items that you should put it. And we also have a content map spreadsheet for you. So there you have a template to work with all the things that I just said. And also you can and you must, as I told you, um, to personalize this so you can adapt it with your business goals and with your content mapping strategy. So this is just a base, the template for you to work with. So feel free to download it. And that's it. Good content for you. Thank you for watching and have a good day.